Hello everyone, this is lesson number 8, and in this case we are going to talk about the GitLab runner using the shell executor. Okay, let's start. As you remember, in the previous lesson we were talking about using SSH, plain SSH. We just access by command line, we deploy, we install all the dependencies into the machine we were working, and all that stuff were completely manual. In this case we are going to use the shell executor. In this case we are using the runner. I'm going to use my personal runner. In the next video I think I will be using the shell runner, because for using Docker in Docker my bandwidth is so low, so small. I will use shell runner just for doing it as fast as possible. In this case I'm using my personal running, but okay, let's start. First at all, for this case we don't need, for example, this line, also this one, and this one too, and we just need the starter server and this. Let me see. I will show you why we don't need those lines in this deployment, in this implementation. Okay, I will save this file. Also, I create a Docker file. Let me first show you this Docker file. As you can see, okay, just to recapitulate, when we start a project and we are using gitlab-ci with the Docker file, we have the project in GitLab here, just over here. Then when the pipeline starts, it's move the project, the files to this location, and using the gitlab-ci.yml file we execute all the actions we need. In this case we are going to build a Docker image. We are going to push that image to the GitLab registry. Then in another stage we pull back that image wherever we want. Maybe we are going to use the image in the same place, in the same machine, or maybe it is going to be used by another person. And that first we build, then we push, and finally we bring it back just to run some testing, but we will have a completely functional image just over the registry, and it will be used by anybody that requires the project. Also, it is really useful because if, for example, we are front-end developers and we just need the backend, we just need to run the backend. If we have that image, we don't need to install anything. We just need to pull the image from the registry by the backend developers, and we start that backend, and we can develop our front end, for example. For that reason, first we have the Docker file. We are building a Node.js application, the CI/CD for a Node.js application. We define the version. For in this case I'm using 7.8 version. I define the working directory. It is the place when we have the files. For example, this, like we say, okay, we are going to work in this directory. If we are working with Apache, it will be HTML bar HTML www, and we will find the files. I think it's for Apache something similar, but anyway, in this case we are working with Node.js, and we defined user source app and as the place, as the predefined place for all the files, and it will be safe in the Docker also when it is a container. Then we copy the package.json. It is the main file in any Node.js project, to this directory. Then maybe I have some mistakes in here, but you can improve this work. This file is just an example. We copy the package.json and we run npm install. We just run npm install because remember we defined the working directory and it will be run in that directory. Then we copy all the project. This command, what it is doing is it is copying the files we have here currently here into this location. It is into the image or into the container, and this is in our local computer. This point it is just defining the current directory. Then I will show you why I comment this line. I will show you. I will explain this right now because I will forget it. I should forget it. I comment this line because I'm going to pass this parameter when I run the container, not from here statically, because as you can see it is a start server, but I want this Docker file to be useful also for testing and for running the server, whatever we need. And finally, I'm exposing the port 8080. Why 8080? Because it's the port that we have in this file. The Node.js application is listening in port 8080. Also remember we have some testing. It is here. We are just testing the response status code to be equal to 100, and that's all the case we have. Finally, and the most important part, the gitlab-ci.yml file. Let's take a look into that. It is hide. Oh, it is not in here. Okay, as you can see, I'm not defining any image because we are using shell executor. What does it mean? It means that from here we are accessing our local machine, and then we execute the commands as if we were running the command directly from here. For example, if I defined, I will show you from here. I defined some variables, the one we already had in the previous project. Also, I defined this registry. It is the one we can find just over here. Let me see. In here, this is the documentation. I already have one image, one deployed image. I will show you later because let me see. When we go latest 20 minutes, I will show you some minutes. And here we have some specification how to build and how to push to the registry. Let's go back. This is the URL to the registry. Then I define 3 stages. The first one is the build stage. I define the build stage first because the test and the deploy stage depends of the build stage. Why? Because we are using Docker for all things in here. Then this is the first stage, the second one, and the third one. Stage build. Okay, let's start. It is really easy. At this point, it will be really easy for you because we have covered a lot, and this one is currently it is really easy. First, we log in with the GitLab registry. It is a predefined GitLab variable. This is the URL. This is my username, my password. Then docker build -t registry. This, the tag we are going to use. And where is the Docker file located? It is in the current directory. Then, when it is built, we will push that image to the GitLab registry. And it is the build stage. As you can see, we are using shell executor. This is the tag I created some minutes ago. Let me show you. It is just over here. As you remember, I currently have 2 runners, but I renamed those runners just to make it easy to understand. This is the tag, a generic tag I create. We can define many tags. I also have two runners running in the same machine, one with Docker Executor and the other one with Shell Executor. I use this tag just to it to be like verbose as much as possible, and in this case we are using Shell Executor. This one is for the next video. Okay, go ahead. If we don't define any tag, we will use chart runner, a GitLab chart runner. But in this case, I'm going to use this personal runner. Then we have the test stage. Here also we log in. Then we pull. What we are pulling? We are pulling the image that we already built in the previous stage. We can't. In this case, we are using same machine. But if, for example, we have 10, 100 executors, 100 different instances, we will define this and it will fetch that registry because it is centralized for us. We pull the registry, we stop. This is kind of tricky because this line is just for removing any container that is currently running, because we are using the same name for the container and we want to keep our instance as clean as possible, but it depends on the implementation you are doing. In this case, I stop any Docker container. This or true is just to suppress any error. Then I remove any instance, any container, for example, in this case, and also to suppressing the error. First I stop, then I remove. If you just write this without the or true, it will fail if it doesn't find anything running, because as when we run the test cases, if something fails, the pipeline fails. It will also happen for something like this. Then I run the Docker image, the name, I am using the branch. Then I do a port mapping in here. I'm using port 8080. This 8080 is the internal container port, and I'm mapping this port to port 80 in our local machine. I will show you this later in some minutes. Then this is just to run in interactive mode, because I want to show I want to see if there is any error or any failure during the execution. This is the image name, the image that we are currently running. First we pulled, then we can run the image, and finally, as you remember, I comment the CMD from the gitlab-ci from the Docker file. Sorry, it was because I want to run any command I want. In this case, I'm running test cases. I will execute npm run-ci, and as you can see, the only difference for the deployment is I'm running npm run start server, and that's all. That's all the difference. It will execute the commands, it will execute the test cases, and after that, in this case, it will start the server, and we will be able to see it in our browser. If we are using our personal runner, we can do something like that. But if we are using chart runner, we cannot open any browser just for opening the already deployed container. Okay, let's see. I already pushed all these files to, but I will do any changes. I will do one change in the Docker file just to push something. Just a comment. Let's save this file. Let's check the status. Let me see. I will add Docker file. I will add this, and I will add package.json. Let's check the status. We are done. Let's say gitlab-ci tutorial using shell executor. Let's push these changes. As you can see, I'm not using the except and only as we use for SSH, but it is not because it is not possible. It is because I did many changes in some branches and it will fail. For that reason, I create just a pipeline with all the steps. But as we did in the previous video, it is possible, and in the same way we can use except master or only branches except master, as you already know, and it depends what you need. But let's push these changes, and let me see. It is shell. Okay, my username, my password. Oh, I did something wrong. This is my username. Let's check if it is currently running. Pipelines. As you can see here, we have 3 stages: one for build, the other one for test, and the last one for deployment. It will take some time to the runner to fetch the job, but let's wait some minutes. Let me see. Now it is running. It is fetching the changes, checking out. It is building the project. As you can see, we have 8 steps. Some of them we already are already cached into our local machine. These red blocks are from npm install, and it is almost done. Let me see. It is a little bit slow because of my local network. As you know, it is running into this machine. It is not running anywhere. It's just like a monitor to that instance, to that machine. All the packages are successfully installed. My virtual machine is going slow for or disk. It is pushing that image. It says that layer already exists. It's really good because we have many cache. Also in registry, also in our local instance. Our using Docker is really clear, really clean. Also, it is useful. Maybe it is useful for other people. When we have a project, they don't need to install anything. Just run. It already finished. Job succeed. In this case, we push the container, we push the image to the registry. Okay, let me see. This is the first stage. Let's see with test. Let me see. 4 minutes ago, this is the one we already pushed. Also, just like a comment, if for example you are building a Maven project with Java, and you are thinking, for example, okay, but when I'm programming, when I'm coding, I will have to install all the dependencies in my local machine before pushing to Docker, or it will be very very noisy, like to be building manually. Just for you to know, there is a Maven plugin, and it will build anytime you run the project. That will be really helpful, and it will using that plugin. You don't need any dependency installed locally in your machine. That will be really helpful. Just for you to know, maybe there are something similar for each language, or we can create something similar. But just for you to know, let me know if you find anything like that. That will be really helpful for all us. Now the test stage is running. First, it fetches changes as usual. We log in, we pull. As you remember, we are pulling the image that we built in the previous stage. Then we stop if there is anything running, just to clean it up. And finally, we run the test cases. In this case, it is not failing, but if this fail, the build stage will not be executed. One test, one assertion, no failures, no skipped. Job succeed, as we were expecting. Let's move to deploy stage. It hasn't started. It has not started yet. I have this waiting for that. You can see it's not running. Just for you to know, let me show you this. I create one branch per deployment, per different approach we had built. For example, using SSH, the base app without anything, just the base app. Using Docker Executor, CI/CD using Shell Executor. If there is anything you think that I can improve in this, or you can improve in this, just let me know. That's the idea, to learn and to share knowledge. Let's wait in here. The process is now running. Here we pull the image, we stop, and as we were expecting, succeed. Let me see. This is the ID of the container, the container to be built. Here we are running the container with the name equal to the branch name. The port mapping, as you remember, we are running this in detached mode and interactive. Sorry, for it to run in the background, and the image name, the one we are using, and this one is the same as the one we pulled. And then we run npm run start server just for running the server. Let's take a look in this URL, and perfect, it is running as we were expecting. And let me see, I think for this lesson that's all. I will continue in the next one. In the next lesson, I'm going to talk about the Docker Executor. Maybe I will create a small video after this one, after Docker Executor, because I want to deploy it like in a hybrid way. And the way that I did is the more appropriate. Okay, that's all, and thank you very much for watching. If you have any comment, any question, just let me know. And if you think this video is helpful, please like and subscribe. And see you in the next video. Bye.